So I've got to give a little bit of a disclaimer here. I realized as I was recording towards the end of this podcast that I may have said the date wrong a few times. These are the books coming out on the 9th, not the 5th, as I'm pretty sure I said way too many fucking times. So I apologize for that. And without further ado, here we go. Well, hello again, and welcome to the Cheers to Comics podcast. I am your host, Brian Wayne, and this is Pull List Priorities. This episode, I'll be going through and talking about the books coming out on the 9th of October, 2019. And there's some good stuff to come at you this week, that's for sure. Just looking at the top of my list, I'm going to just tell you right now, Image is taking all of your money. It's taking all of it. We're not putting out any skippable titles this week. But before I get to all that, let's you know what, fuck it, let's just start with Image. Let me just let you guys know what you're getting into. To be honest, other than Image, it's a pretty light week as far as the indies go. Not a whole lot of other indies out there, but there's definitely a few that needs to be shouted out. That's faux show. So getting right down to it, like I said, we're going to start with Image this week. Battle Pug, number 2. Now, I'm not reading Battle Pug, but it's constantly selling out at my LCS. And the only reason I'm not battle pugging. The only reason I'm not battle pugging. So honestly, because the first issue slipped through the cracks somehow. I don't know how I missed it. I know I was excited about it, but like I said, it sells out. So, yeah. Coffin Bound, number 3. Now, this is kind of a key issue for me, because I really dig the art quite a bit. I like the concept, but the pacing of the story, it's, I'm not it's not that it's bad by any means. It's just, I don't know if it's something I want to personally commit to and try to keep up with, because this thing looks like it's going to go deep. At least that's my perspective. I don't know. What the fuck do I know? I know that I like Dan Waters a lot, but he's also the same guy that writes another book that I'm just kind of off and on. Not because it's bad, but because there's a lot to it. And that's Lucifer. That's his other one that I dig quite a bit. So the dude knows horror. He knows his way around a horror book. And I really love the concepts and character designs of Coffin Bound. The art style is fucking incredible. But yeah, no, it's I'm gonna pick up 3. We'll see what happens. This is whether or not I pick up 4 really solely relies on what happens in 3. East of West, number 43. I've been told that this is the best book I haven't read. I've been told by several people, out of all of the books out there, this is the book for Brian. This is a Brian book, and I haven't even touched it. So I'm going to try to find maybe an omnibus or something like that. I don't know. Is there an omnibus of East of West out there yet? I don't know. They're at 43 issues, so quite possibly. I'm not necessarily reading. I do have it on the pull list, so I'm collecting single issues from here on. I think from 40 or whenever is when I started collecting, so I don't know if that's where I want to jump on, though. I think I want to start at the beginning. Ice Cream Man, number 15. This is not a book that you need to worry about continuity or jumping on. You just pick up this book at any given time. Go out, pick up 7, go pick up 11, you're going to pick up 15. Then go back and read 2. None of it matters the order. They're all single story issues, and it's currently my favorite horror book out there. They're really bringing the horror on the first week of October. But yeah, no, Martín Morazzo and Chris O'Halloran and all them fellers just fucking killing it. Killing it. Oblivion Song, number 20. So you guys, Walking Dead's done, but you still get some Kirkman and some Oblivion Song. I read the first 15 issues and decided it wasn't for me. I couldn't get attached to any of the characters, but it does have a following, that's for sure. So if you like The Walking Dead and you like Kirkman, see the thing, admittedly I never really read The Walking Dead. I read the first volume and I thought it was fine. Maybe even the first 2 volumes. But, no, I don't know. I'll go back and read that eventually. Kirkman's just, he hasn't grabbed me yet. Now this next thing I'm fixing to say, I've been wondering for, I want to say almost 3 months now, what the fuck happened to Gary Whitta in this book. But Oliver is back. Oliver number 4. This is a twist on Oliver Twist. Why do I say it like that every fucking time? I've gone 3 months without talking about this book, and I still say that every time. I don't mean to pun it. I really don't. But it is a twist on a futuristic cybernetic version, a dystopic, I don't know if that's a word. But I might have just made that one up. The fact is it's a cool version of a classic character in a form that you've never seen him. And I very, very much have enjoyed the first 3 issues. To the point where, after as long as it's been, I have a feeling I'm going to have no problem just sliding right into number 4, just fine. Outer Darkness, number 11. This is some John Layman and Alfu Chan. This is another horror book. I wouldn't have classified it a horror book until probably issue 9. 9 is where it really took a turn. And, oh man, I could not be happier about it. I didn't see this book going in this direction at all, and fuck is it good. Reaver number 4. This is a book that's having no problem hitting the shelves. It's coming out at a pretty steady pace, unless the months are just going by faster than I can keep up with. But I feel like I just talked about Reaver, 3 weeks ago. I'm loving this book. I really am. The first issue I was totally about. The second issue kind of got me for a second. I was like, uh-oh. Kind of was on the same chopping block as Coffin Bound was, but 3 came in hard and heavy and just knockout, man. It's convinced me that I'm digging this. I'm digging this book. Redneck, number 24. So we got some Donny Cates action. I read the Image firsts on this. You can get those. It's okay. This is the end of a story arc here. I thought it was cool. It was. But it was, early Donny Cates work, and I don't think I appreciated it in the capacity I did. And I don't think I really read it before I discovered who the fuck Donny Cates really was, to be honest. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of factors into why I'm not reading Redneck. I hear it's great. Sonata, number 5. Now, this is another book kind of on the chopping block for me, especially, and it's not looking good considering that cover B and what that is showing. I always had these inclinations that this was going to kind of turn into a love story, but a little too lovey-dovey for Brian. Like I said, if you're into love story, to me it's I don't know, I feel like Game of Thrones meets Romeo and Juliet, kinda, maybe a little bit. I don't know. The art's incredible though. I will say one thing, the art is fucking next level. You do not see art like this in comic books on this level. You just fucking don't. I mean, we've got Jason Sean Alexander doing Spawn books, which is actually the next book I'm going to talk about, and it's still not into the level that, I gotta give credit where credit's due. Yeah, Brian Haberlin. It's the best art in comics for sure. It's yeah, it's definitely gonna make the yearly rundown show. Fish show. Spawn 301. This bitch broke some records, motherfuckers. So 300 was a big deal. It tied the record. But 301 knocks out, I believe it's Cerebus? I don't know how to say that word. Comic I haven't read, but I think that was the longest running indie title. Spawn now holds that, going into the Guinness Book of World Records, and yeah, for as long as it takes. I don't know what's going to catch up. I don't know what could possibly catch up, because I don't see Spawn ending anytime soon. Something's going to go on I have to go bi-weekly to catch up with Spawn, motherfuckers. Spawn, well deserved. Good job, Todd McFarlane. I know you're listening, buddy. And because this is not a $10 book or a $9 book, it's a $5 book, and they did put up a bunch of fucking covers, but now you'll actually be able to afford these covers because they're half the price of the last one. And just like last time, they're all freaking incredible. God damn that Jason Sean Alexander cover. Jesus, that guy's amazing. He does the interiors, fucking people. Jesus, God. He's not doing the interiors on this one, but he has been. Oh, shit. Hold on. Who's doing the... Capullo, Clayton Crane, and Jerome Apena with Todd motherfucking McFarlane. That's interiors, guys. Oh, and McFarlane's right in the bitch, too. It's a good day to be a Spawn fan next Wednesday. Thumbs. Number 5 of 5 coming to an end. I'm finally going to get a chance to binge this. So I read the first issue, thought it was great. Got through the second issue. I made it about 3/4 of the way through and thought, no, I want to save all this. I think this is a bingey book. A binge book for show. So stay tuned for a Thumbs trade negotiations that will be coming eventually. So we've started out with, that was just Image, people. That was just Image. 10 minutes on Image Comics. Let's move to Valiant. All the way at the bottom of the Previews World list. Just one Valiant title. There's usually not much coming out of Valiant, if anything at all. But that's kind of their motto. And I respect them for it. Livewires, the book. A book I'm not reading because I think I only read XO and Bloodshot. That's what I've decided with Valiant. Not that any of their other titles are bad by any means, but I gotta be picky and choosy. I don't know if you guys realize how many books I read, but they cost me money. And I don't have enough patrons to support all these books. So, hint, hint, no. You guys want extra content, hop on Patreon. But that's not what this is about. Let's talk Tokyo Pop. So, you guys all know, all of you, even if this is your first time listening, you have to know by now that I'm not into manga. It's just not a form of storytelling for me. There's very few anime that I like. I mean, when it comes to manga, yes, there are exceptions to be made. But for the most part, no. Whoops. I'm not going to willingly purchase any manga. But Tokyo Pop has my boy Dan Connor as their coloring artist for the most October book of all time. Nightmare Before Christmas, Zero's Journey. They're dropping issue 13 and 14 on yo asses. And Dan Connor, you can catch a creator corner from him. I got to interview him at Denver Pop Culture Con. This guy used to sell me my comics at Mile High back in the day. And now he's the color artist for Tokyo Pop's #1 selling comic of all time. And it's a real Nightmare Before Christmas canon story, too. It's got the mark of approval from Tim Burton. So that's cool. Go out and support that book. Who else from the indies? Dark Horse. Let's go to Dark Horse. Everybody loves Dark Horse. Black Hammer, Justice League #4 of 5. I'm not reading this because I don't know who the fuck Black Hammer is. I never said I was an expert, guys. I don't know everything about everyone. And Black Hammer is just not, I'm looking at this variant cover. I don't know which one Black Hammer is. Is Black Hammer just a regular dude? Is he the guy with the dome? Is Black Hammer the lady in black in the back? I don't know. I know it's not Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman. Maybe Black Hammer is the wooden alien looking dude? I don't know. If I had to guess, it's probably the guy in the front. The guy with the super awesome mustache. The point is, I don't know who Black Hammer is, so I have no business trying to tell you guys about a Black Hammer Justice League crossover. But it's happening. Issue 4 of 5 dropping. IDW. Now this is an exciting thing for me to say. Cobra Kai. The kids saga continues. We're going to 4-part miniseries. And guys, Cobra Kai, come on. I went out and bought YouTube Premium just so I can watch the YouTube series of this, and worth it. Albeit the first season was way better than the second season. Second season is still highly watchable. The fact is, Cobra Kai is still very much in our universe as not quite middle-aged adults. And for you youngsters out there, welcome to Karate Kid, mother youngsters. Yeah, man. There's some IDW action. Oh, and we got some G.I. Joe Real American Hero. G.I. Joe Real American Hero number 267. See, that would be the book that probably has the best, and it's still Larry Hama writing it too. So this would be the one that has the greatest opportunity of catching up with Spawn. But even if Spawn went bi-monthly, ready for this math, guys? If Spawn went bi-monthly and G.I. Joe went bi-weekly, it would take, I don't know, 4 months? So, yeah, I don't know. Not long for G.I. Joe to catch up. I don't know why I told you about all that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Urban Legends number 17. So this is, in case you're not familiar, this is a story that's already been told up until issue 26 or 24. I think up until 24 when they canceled it, before it got to its 30th issue as it was supposed to be told. So they're going through and they're reprinting the entire 1 through 30. This time in color, because it wasn't in color last time. So that is the one change we get, the biggest incentivizer to continue to buy something a story that's already been told. And it take really 2 years up until of collecting this to get to the point where we get new story out of it to finish it out. But for someone like myself, this was the first Turtle run that I had the opportunity of jumping on at the number 1. Because, the ongoing is almost at 100 now, so missed the boat on that one, on issue 1 on that one. So I figured, you know what, this sounds interesting. I'm not necessarily reading it on a, what do you call it, regular basis. But this is kind of just something I'm more interested in collecting, I guess, just to say, okay, I've got this run. I would imagine it's good. I did read the first few issues and thought, oh, cool, this is cool. Fucking Turtles, man. Definitely different, though. It's different for a new reader. At least it was for me. It kind of took me back a bit. That's what I got for indies, guys. Kind of a short, sweet week. Unless you're an Image fan. Then your wallet's fucked. Let's move to DC. DC Comics throwing down bangers this week. Lots of covers. Lots of covers to be enjoyed, but I'm not going to talk covers. Any covers that I talk about, for the most part, will be in the wallbook section of the weekly episode. So let's start with Batman and the Outsiders number 6. I don't know if this is an ongoing or what. Brian Hill's writing it. So while the mission is a success, the Outsiders do not feel like winners. All right. There's more to it, but I'm just afraid that Previous World fucked up the description, so try to get us... if they give me one solid sentence, I'm cool with that. I'm not reading Batman and the Outsiders. I feel like maybe I should be. I think I have the first 3 issues. I read the first issue and just decided, I don't know if this is... I don't really know these characters. I'm not attached to these characters. I'm getting plenty of Batman elsewhere. Even though I feel like maybe this book's not so much about Batman as it is whoever the fuck the Outsiders are. So, more Batman books I'm not reading. But it's not all about me. Batman Universe number 4 of 6. What is this? It's a Brian Michael Bendis Batman book. Available to comic shops for the first time. Batman and Green Lantern followed the trail of Vandal Savage back to the Old West and right into the encounter with Jonah Hex. But before they could stop Savage from finding the mysterious Fabergé egg, Green Lantern disappears. And Batman lands back where his story began. Crime Alley. Originally published in Batman Giant number 9 and 10. So that's why I don't read these books, because they were already published. Not that that takes away from the story at all. It's not like I read those stories, but that's not a good excuse for me to not read them at all now that I think about it. So yeah, Batman Universe. That's something. Now, Batman vs. Ra's al Ghul, Neil Adams. I guess I'm not a Neil Adams fan, so it's just not my title, but I know there's plenty of you out there that are. And like I said, I don't discriminate. This podcast isn't about just what I like. It's a public service announcement. Hey, guess what? DC's putting out another Batman title this week. This one, however, 1 trillion% on board with. So Batman's Grave number 1 of 12. So we're in it for a year, more than likely. More than likely it's going to go on for a year. But check this. Warren Ellis and Kevin Nowlan. Got it? Good. And the cover by Brian Hitch is also fucking good, man. Fucking good. Alright, world's greatest detective must try to inhabit the mind of a murder victim to solve a case without filling the empty grave next to those of his parents. Can Batman imagine the life of a corpse with a half-eaten face without dying himself? Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch, one of the most legendary creative partnerships of the modern freaking age, reunite in this maxi series about life, death, and the questions most are too afraid to ask. See, I don't know what to get out of that preview at all. I just saw Warren Ellis and Kevin Nowlan and said, sold, take my money. I didn't... I'm a fucking gump. But Warren Ellis is amazing. Okay? Yes. And how about those variants? Catwoman number 16. I think this is going to be the first Catwoman book I don't buy, only because I've been purchasing the variant covers, and Art Germ did his 16th and final one, or 15th and final one. Actually, he did 13 out of the 15 covers, but yeah, that's not the point. Fact is, Joelle Jones is both back to writing and drawing her own Catwoman book, and I hear good things. I did read the first couple issues and thought, you know what, fucking, I dig your style on both levels, Joelle Jones. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to commit to reading all of the Catwoman titles, because I read a lot of DC. Yeah, maybe I should go through and skim some of those Catwoman latest issues. They're on the wall. I don't want to take them down. Collapser, number 4 of 6. Collapser was a huge surprise for me. I didn't think I'd be into this book at all, but damn it just gets better and better and better, and I hope they make this kid a part of the actual DC universe. I really do. And I want to see Collapser fighting next to Batman, opening up black holes and saying fuck you to the Batman who laughs and shit like, god damn, the opportunities for this character are unbelievable. Detective Comics number 1013. Again. So, looks like they're going bi-weekly until DC stops that. I think in December they're going to not have any more bi-weekly titles, which I'm cool with. I'm cool with it. But we've got that Mr. Freeze arc. We've been getting a lot of touches of Mr. Freeze and some arcs, but then that last issue, 1012, was all Mr. Freeze, and holy shit, was that comic good, man. That comic was so good on every single level. Event Leviathan number 5 of 6. Another book that I did not think I was going to like, because all of the Leviathan stuff I was reading in Action Comics just wasn't grabbing me. And then I realized that the reason I wasn't liking it is because I don't think Action Comics is my book anymore. So, and that the only way I was able to determine that, or the quickest way I was able to determine that, was through reading Event Leviathan and fucking loving it. And it's the same writer. So, it's Brian Michael Bendis, but shit, I love the concept of this. And the way that the issue 4 Cliff hanged us was, oh dude, so good, man. Event Leviathan is worth the read. Flash, number 80. I don't read Flash, but I know a lot of y'all do, so this is your warning. Oh, don't yawn, Brian. It's so late. Harley Quinn Poison Ivy, number 2 of 6. So this is I'm after the variant on this one. One of the variants on this one. I read the first issue, and because it spawns from the pages of Heroes in Crisis, which I just found to be just kind of not my book at all. A waste of time, if you ask me. Yeah, it has to do with that, but a little bit of You're the Villain at the same time. So they're trying to make Heroes in Crisis mean something while still playing with the You're the Villain stuff. But those covers, though. Hawkman, number 17. I'm not reading Hawkman, but whew, fuck those covers. I do get some Hawkman every once in a while because they throw out some amazing covers, just like they are again this week. Jeez, dude. Jeez. I'm happy to see Hawkman's actually made it past 10 issues. I didn't see that happen, and I really didn't. I never would have thought that Hawkman is going to have a book go past 12 issues. That's fucking cool. I know I said 10 in the beginning, but 12 is a maxi series. But usually if they project something to go ongoing at 10 issues, it's fucking done. At least I would imagine. That's how I'd be running my business, but yeah. Oh, okay. Joker Harley Criminal Sanity. It's that book that y'all been waiting for. I'm one of y'all. I have also been waiting for it. Kami Garcia, Miko Soyan, Mike Mayhew, And how about that Francesco Mattina cover? Mm. 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 So I don't know any of those creators, to be honest. I know Mike Mayhew. I know I do color like a motherfucker, but other than that, I don't know. I'm not familiar with those names. So let's read the 72 sentence description. Jesus Christ, previews. In Gotham City, where heinous acts of violence are a daily occurrence, the GCPD relies on Harley Quinn, a young forensic psychiatrist and profiler, to consult on the toughest cases. But Harley is haunted by one unsolved case. The night she discovered her roommate's body marked with the signature of a notorious serial killer known as the Joker. 5 years later, the case remains unsolved and a new series of horrific murders occur throughout the city. As the murders escalate, Harley's obsession with finding the depraved psychopath responsible leads her down a dangerous path. When the past and the present finally collide, Harley has to decide how far she is willing to go and how many lines she is willing to cross to solve the cases once and for all. So, and then they give a whole bunch of other stuff about the creators and more about the book and all this other stuff. That was a lot of description. I'm in because it's a Black Label book. Oh, by the way, it's a Black Label book. So I would imagine I've dug all the Black Label books except for the second part of Superman. I wasn't so keen on that one, but other than that, they've been fucking hitting home runs. So I'm gonna check it out. I really liked the last Harley Black Label book, to be honest. I thought, or Harleen, I thought it was great. And because these Black Label books aren't canon, if they want to just tell 12 different fucking Harley Quinn backstories, then whatever, let them. As long as they're entertaining, because that's really what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to be entertained. So if you're one of those people who's gonna say, we just got this, now get off Harley's cooter, and write something new. It's coming. We're gonna get Wonder Woman Black Label from Daniel Warren Johnson, and guys, Black Label's killing it. I have confidence. I do. They got all. And you know what? It's also a 9-issue mini-series or maxi series. So I don't know if it's gonna come in prestige format, especially because it's got a $6 price tag. So this $6 price tags always confuse me because I don't know if it's gonna be a regular comic with just a cardstock cover or what. Maybe it's just because it's the number one. I don't know. But I'm done talking about this book. Justice League Odyssey number 14. I'm not reading Justice League Odyssey, but I hear great things. I've heard some say that it's the best Justice League book out there, but I can't be the judge of that because I haven't read it. Now, what is this shit? RWBY. Ruby? Is that what that's supposed to be? Marguerite Benek, Marika Andolfo. It looks like some manga. And why is DC doing manga books? I can't read that description. I'm confused. First, you got Marvel doing. I'm gonna go on a rant for a second. You got Marvel doing Arrow and Swordmaster, which nobody's fucking reading. I don't know anybody talking about that book. I fucking hashtag any of that shit. No one's fucking reading this shit. Why are they trying to put this stuff in our comics? No one cares. We're happy. If you want to read manga and anime, then go to that section. I know it probably sounds really shitty on my part, but what the? I know. Just don't buy it, Brian. Just don't read it. Your guy, I won't. This is a gripe on the publisher. It has nothing to do with these people creating. Create all the fucking comics you want. I just don't know why DC's picking this stuff up and Marvel's picking this stuff up. What am I missing? Is there a movement going on? I don't know. Fill me in if there's something I don't know, listeners. Or fucking just send me your hate mail. I don't know. I don't care. I won't be reading Wooby. Rubabi. How do you fuck RWB Rubabi? I'm angry. Supergirl number 35. I'm not reading either, but you know what? Supergirl, I believe, belongs in the DC universe. So, no. Number 35. There it is. Superman also belongs in the DC universe. I decided that I'm sticking with Superman, at least for a little while longer. I thought I was going to drop it, but Brian Michael Bendis brought me back in the last issue, and yeah. Can you tell that last book kind of got me a little fucking rigid? Rubabi? Brian Michael Bendis, David LaFuente's taking over the art this time. The Super Sons are back. Yeah, bitches. That's all I'm going to read of that description. Wonder Twins. Going 12 issues. They're at number 8 now. See, I thought this was only going to be a 4-parter. So I dropped it at issue 4. I missed out on Wonder Twins. They're still going. Wonder Twin powers. Activate. And Wonder Woman number 80. Alright, we got a couple of number 80s from DC. We got Flash 80 and Wonder Woman number 80. G. Willow Wilson, Jesus Marino, Vincente Cifuentes. And how about that Yannick Piquet cover? Dig it. Dig it. I don't read Wonder Woman, but I know that there's plenty of you that are. And once again, I'm here to remind you. I'm just here to remind you. Check it out. Let's talk Marvel. You know what? Not a lot of Marvel to talk this week, and it's not very often that sentence comes out my mouth. We do got some Absolute Carnage titles. We got a couple of tie-ins. We got the third part of the Miles Morales Absolute Carnage. So, second one, yeah, I didn't know how they were going to actually possibly make this a 3-part series, but the second one explained that, and now I'm confident the third one's probably going to be pretty fucking dope. Yeah, no, that's actually the only one, because the other one is a second printing of Scream. So, yeah, that's the only Absolute Carnage we're getting this week, guys. It's Miles Morales. Age of Conan Valeria, 3 of 5. So all you Conan nuts. Conuts? Yeah. You got the... Oh, fuck, that cover's amazing. J. Anacleto. Anacleto? Sorry, dude, I can't say your name, but I am going to be watching out for your art, because that cover is fucking fantastic. Good lord. Anyways, carrying on. Amazing Spider-Man number 31. Is this Absolute Carnage tie-in? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, yeah, no, it's just more Carnage. So, I guess there is Absolute Carnage, but this is an ongoing. This Amazing Spider-Man ongoing. So, yeah. I guess it was pretty cool how they tied in the last one, but if I were not reading Absolute Carnage and reading Spider-Man, I guess I'd be kind of pissed, because that book would have made no sense unless you were reading Absolute Carnage. But who's reading Marvel right now and not reading Absolute Carnage, to be fair? So, yeah. Contagion, number 2 of 5. Looks like we're going to get 5 issues in 5 weeks out of this story, because, you know, this issue 1 just came out. I'm curious to read it. Anxious to read it. Sounds fun. The deceased event has kind of got me, you know, hyped for this type of stuff. I don't want to say, oh, this is Marvel's, you know, answer to that, but this is Marvel's answer to deceased. Let's see if it's as good. I doubt it is. Nothing's as good as Tom Taylor. He's officially the greatest thing in current comics right now. Yeah, I said it. Doctor Doom number 1. Christopher Cantwell. Salvador La Roca. Alright, guys. The Crack of Doom. Do I really need to read all this? Guys, Doom. Enough said, right? I fucking hope that this goes at least 12. We need to get at least 12 out of this. I want to read Doom for a whole motherfucking year. That's what I want. Make it monthly. Monthly Doom. God, it make 2020 so good. 2020 is going to be a good year in comics. As long as Doom does that thing that I just asked it to do. So what is this here? Alyssa Wong, Kevin Labranda, and more on Future Fight First White Fox number 1. Is this another one of those things that I'm upset about? The super spy from the Marvel Future Fight mobile game. Okay, it's from a game. Stars in her own one-shot. Alright, so if you guys played Marvel Future Fight, here is that character I've never seen before. So this is a possible key issue. I would say on some level this is definitely a key issue. Depending on how you use the word key. But yeah, fucking that's cool. I'm not playing the game, so I personally don't have any interest, but obviously that game does well for them to be doing stuff like this. So good on you. White Fox is the character, I guess, but Future Fight First White Fox is the title. Gwenpool Stretch Back number 3 of 5. Am I continuing on with this? I don't know, but I like Gwenpool a lot. Oh god damn that cover. Jeez. Yeah, no, I might be picking up Gwenpool again. I don't know. I know I picked up the first one, and I didn't read it because I was confused about some stuff, and by the time I realized it was too late. So I don't remember if I picked up 2. Well, I mean, if 3's in my pull box, then I would imagine that I kept it. Invaders number 10. Not reading Invaders either. Like I said, this is a light week for Marvel for me personally. Chip Zdarsky, Carlos Magno, not Mango. Dyslexia. Captain America and Winter Soldier have sacrificed everything to find the genius formula, but can they overcome both Roxxon and Namor? And after a major betrayal, whose side is Namor even on? As Doomsday approaches, Dead in the Water continues here. I didn't know this was an ongoing series. Who would have thunk? I thought it was going 3. That's why I didn't hop on. I may have had... to be fair, I'm not really a Captain America and Bucky fan. And I haven't read enough Namor for that character to seduce my dollars. Loki, number 4. I know a lot of people are really liking Loki. When I read the first issue, I thought, yeah, no, that seems like what a Loki book would be. But it wasn't enough for me to invest in. Nevertheless, Loki's still going. I would... How are you going to go with this? Doesn't say. Probably 6. Oh, I'm yawning again. Sorry. Take 2. Magnificent Miss Marvel, number 8. Saladin Ahmed and Joey Vasquez. Yeah, this is a book that I still have on my pull list, but I only read every once in a while. Being that this is a small week, I'll probably be reading Miss Marvel this week. I think, yeah, that's usually the formula for me reading Miss Marvel, unless I know that there's some key event happening or something like that. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, number 11. Yeah, I'm digging this book all the way through. It's been fun. It's above average, and it's consistent, so bam. Powers of 10, number 6 of 6. This is it. This is it, y'all. Then we got that one other issue, and then we launch those 6 mutant titles that I'm not going to be able to remember the name of off the top of my head, that you're going to have to look up for your own selves. Jesus, it's clearly late. I'm delusional. Powers of 10, though, I would imagine all of the confusingness and stuff that has occurred throughout this title is all going to wrap up very, very nicely. And I'm super excited. I've yet to read House of X yet because I'm just getting home with my books still. Yeah, I record this podcast pretty early. But, yeah, no, it's... I'm excited. It's all culminating into something massive. And the end of the first part of the first beginning is on the 5th. Okay, we've got some Star Wars books as we do. And Squirrel Girl, number 49. I think this is Marvel's longest current running title. So good on you. Fucking unbeatable Squirrel Girl. I got to read some of it during War of the Realms. That was my taste of Squirrel Girl. And I dug it. And the last book of the week that I'm going to be shouting out, hyping up, is Web of Black Widow, number 2 of 5. I did not read the first issue. But, fucking Black Widow, baby. Ooh, that cover. Jung Yoon. Good stuff, man. Kind of reminds me of the opening of the Daredevil series. That's what that cover reminds me of. But this is Black Widow, Web of Black Widow, Jodie Houser, Stephen Mooney. 5-part miniseries. Get you some. And that is going to do it for all of the Marvel books, all of the books that I'm shouting out for that matter. The fact is, this is far from all of the books coming out, though. This is just the stuff that I find to be, obviously the popular stuff that, some need to be reminded about. Most of you don't need to be, but some of you do. I need to be reminded every week. Mostly this podcast is just for me. There's still other stuff that's going to be hitting the shelves. So hit up your local comic book store and see for yourself. Now, I want to let you know the stuff that's definitely going to be making the next podcast, my personal most anticipated books of the week, I'm going to start out with Powers of 10 from Marvel. That's kind of no-brainer. I mean, Doctor Doom, amazing. I really do hope that we space that book throughout a year, and that's, yeah, I do hope that 2020 is a very heavy Doom year. Haven't got enough of them in 2019. But Powers of 10, I'm excited for it to all make sense more than anything. That's yeah, because most of the Powers of whatever books, or Powers of 10 books have, or at least the first 4, I was completely fucking lost on. The 5th one, 3/4 of it I understood, so getting there. That's promising, though, for the 6th one, that's for sure. As far as DC goes, there's, oh man, so much good stuff. We got Black Label stuff, we got Detective Comics, we got Event Leviathan, but Batman's Grave, guys, how about fucking Warren Ellis? How about that? Whew, that's good shit. But my overall most anticipated book of the week, actually, it's an Image book, and it's Oliver. I've been waiting way too long for this book. I was very fearful that it was actually canceled, because I could see how a book like this would get canceled. You know, it slips out on a week where there's books like Outer Darkness and Coffin Bound and Ice Cream Man and Thumbs and Spawn and Reaver and all of that stuff coming out. You know, it could get cluttered. Well, thankfully, I was wrong. Oliver is here, and I could not suggest this book enough. I really couldn't. I have faith. Gary Whitta, good job. So that does it for this podcast. I'd like to remind you guys to hop on Patreon. Support me on Patreon. And I'd like to thank my newest Patreon donor, Ryan, for your donation. Thank you so much, buddy. Your contributions help tremendously towards this podcast and the quality and the content of this show. And it lets me know that, you know, it's my time is appreciated. So thank you for that. And if you guys want your name shouted on the podcast, follow Ryan. And hop on, join Patreon, patreon.com/cheers to comics. Otherwise you could support by just leaving ratings wherever you listen to your podcast. iTunes, leave a rating. Leave comments if there's not a rating system. There's usually some way to leave some sort of feedback. So regardless, your feedback is greatly appreciated. It helps with algorithms and popularities and all that good stuff. So it's worth your time, especially if you do actually appreciate the podcast. Questions, comments, concerns, Twitter @Cheers to Comics, and all of the other social media platforms. You can find me. You know how to work the internet. Thank you, Slurred, so much for tuning in to another episode of Pull List Priorities. These are the books coming out on the 5th of October, 2019. You'll be hearing from me next week. Cheers, fuckers.